We are here. Week 15, the best ball playoffs start tomorrow. Going to be exploring my Underdog fantasy best ball teams. Let's get it, gang. What is up, everybody? If you are new, my name is Liam Murphy, a three-time NFL best ball champion. I'm excited. You're excited if you're here. The Best Ball Mania 4 pods have been created. If you have a team, you have a hope. Week 15, it is here. If you missed my stream last night, I highly recommend you watch that if you're interested in learning lessons from this season. Put some effort into talking through that with some great guests. So it's exciting. I drafted best ball teams on Underdog Fantasy. I drafted best ball teams on DraftKings. I drafted best ball teams on a site called the FFPC. Across the total, I think I have somewhere around 130 best ball playoff teams. Obviously, most of those are in the Millie Makers. Let's see. We got 65 best ball teams on Underdog Fantasy. Got to look at those today. We got 63 best ball teams on DraftKings between the 555 and the $10 Millie Maker. And we got 8 FFPC bullets. So, yeah, somewhere around 130 best ball teams. Insane. It can all come crashing down, or we could have glory. Just because of the quantity of best ball teams, there's not a lot of structure for today's show, as you can tell. Just going to stick to Underdog for today. Actually, I included the weekly winners, so a little bit less. The teams we're going to be looking at today are the quarterfinal, the BBM teams, the Pitbull, the Big Dog, the Bulldog. And then in the pre-draft best ball, this was before the NFL draft, there is the big board teams and the big board Superflex. So we got quite a crop if you are You Have to Leave fan or whatever that comedy show is called. Excited for everyone here. Little housekeeping notes. 1, if you're not in the Discord, what are you doing? Link to join is in the YouTube description below. 2, hit the like and subscribe, please. 3, just some FAQs. I want to help out for the novices out there. On DraftKings, you cannot view the opposing teams until either Thursday Night Football starts or until every single game starts for their active players. I do not remember what it is. You can see exposures now on DraftKings, but it does not allow you to delineate that for buy-in. If you did different buy-ins over there, you can do some things. On Underdog, you're going to get paid out as you advance. Give it time if you've not been paid out yet. I promise you, Underdog is a well-oiled machine. But you're not going to get repaid for what you're already paid. So on Knockout, don't expect to get what it's showing you to be paid if you've already been paid a percentage of that. Get those questions every year. You should have a lot of hope if you have a team, but keep your expectations in check. It is very difficult to make the finals. In something like BBM 4, the advance rates were just 2 out of 12, as we just did. And now it is 1 out of 16, 1 out of 16, 441s. So I have 30 teams in BBM 4, roughly, a little bit less actually. I could expect to have 2 teams for the semifinals. Past 2 years, I've had 6 teams in the semifinals. So obviously, these weeks are more important. And this is why I'm not an advance rate bro. And advance rate is just a really, really poor metric. It might be 1 out of 18, Ben. I might have misstated. Advance rate's a really poor metric as a describer. It doesn't tell you, do you have 80% Mostert? Super chalk. Do you have low owned guys? It doesn't tell you any of that. So I don't think it's a great metric. Today we're just going to be clicking through. We're going to start, of course, with my exposures. So the way you do this is you go into exposures and then make sure I have, these are the different buy-in advancements I have, 25, 75, 250, 500. So we're going to be looking at Best Ball Mania 4 primarily, because we're trying to win $3 million and be a repeat champion, which would honestly be, if Justin, me, or Pat repeats as champion, that's like one of the most insane things ever. Just anyone repeating as champion is something like Best Ball Mania is an absurd feat. Could be one of you, though. So let's just take a look at my exposures and go position by position, and then we'll jump into looking at the teams. We're going to go for 30 minutes to an hour today. Either tomorrow or Friday, we'll explore the DraftKings 1 and the FFPC teams. And then in the following weeks, we'll take a look, but it's going to be a lot easier to just jam them all in on one show because I won't have 100 teams, probably. So yeah, I'm excited about my exposures on Underdog. I think I, in general, ran good for injuries, right? Which is like out of your control somewhat. I did not have a lot of the quarterbacks specifically that got injured. Deshaun Watson, I did not want to draft him at all for many reasons. Daniel Jones, I did draft. Anthony Richardson was the big quarterback injury to my portfolio. I have a lot of CJ Stroud, so he's up in the air. My guess is that CJ Stroud plays this week. However, Vegas right now seems to be implying he's not going to play, aka he has a serious concussion, because they are betting dogs to the Titans. Mike Williams, another big injury that hit me. If you have not read it, Keenan Allen has already been ruled out for Thursday. Justin Herbert is on IR, obviously. So, and I mean, I don't think Josh Jacobs will play, so Zamir White's got some hope, but let's just go through it. Josh Allen, my top quarterback. You know, he's chalky enough, but one piece of chalk, two pieces of chalk, three pieces of chalk by itself does not matter. It just matters if you have only a chalk team, unless it's a super team, you know. And obviously a chalk team can win, but we're just talking about what's an easier path to win, right? Like, why did I win BBM2? It's because Jamar Chase was 7% owned. If Jamar Chase was 50% owned, maybe I don't win because you needed his 50 points that year. CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy are all my 20% gang. So I'm someone who drafted since May, actually April, when the contest launched. And early on, I did not draft Brock Purdy only. I either did Trey Lance and Brock Purdy on a couple teams, just eating the zero. Actually, that the trade worked out where it's like, well, now you have a backup quarterback and a starter. So I did that. I was a little stubborn, just like believing in the upside of Trey Lance, which I still believe in. But the writing was on the wall. Late, once it was like very clear he was not going to be the starter, like mid-July or something, I stopped Trey Lance at all. But some of my DK high-stake teams, we got some Trey Lance out there. Sam Howell, I just was a believer in the Sam Howell rushing thesis. And Sam Howell's QB6 on the season. That's better than Patrick Mahomes' QB7. So I got a lot of Howell thinking he was a late-round guy. Also, philosophically, when you draft a lot of Josh Allen, when you draft some Jalen Hurts, to me, I want to be pairing those guys a decent amount of clip with the late-round guys, Stroud, Purdy, Howell. Jordan Love is, I just thought the Packers could be good. That was looking bad for a while. Now looks okay. I thought the Packers were better than the Broncos. I think they're actually pretty even, at least offensively. Jared Goff and Prescott showing up here makes sense. Their pieces did very well. Trevor Lawrence was the quarterback. You know, he's like the QB6 or whatever, 6th round. He was like the guy who I thought could take that leap, like just with an awesome passing offense. I knew it was a thin bet, because he's a statue guy. Just like, why did I draft Noah Mahomes? Because he's not going to rush in a bunch of touchdowns. So the Trevor Lawrence thing, ETN got him a lot of weeks, and I didn't understand how bad the Jags O-line was. So for as much as I drafted Trevor, got a decent clip here. And yeah, Trevor's banged up, but he's also like pretty low owned. Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, Lamar, Geno, Stafford. I got 1 Tua team, only 1 Herbert team, 1 Deshaun team. Didn't draft a lot of him. 1 Fields team, which Fields is very low on. Actually, my Fields team is a Fields Trevor team, and it got in by like 1 point with HM. Daniel Jones and Kirk Cousins, RIP. One Russell Wilson share. I think I barely drafted him. 1 Joe Burrow team and 1 Kenny Pickett team. So most of my quarterbacks are healthy and in good spots. Particularly, I like the Lions schedule, 3 dumb games. I like the Cowboys schedule for Pollard and the passing game. Purdy has an awesome schedule. Arizona, Baltimore, Washington. Purdy to Ayuk could just be the pieces you need this year. I drafted quite a bit of Geno, so his advance rate being low for me makes sense. The Seahawks did not do great. Stroud has an awesome playoff schedule. Titans twice. We don't know if he's going to play. Washington has an awful playoff schedule. Let's just pull this up actually for me, because I pulled the schedules for the guys I could fit on this tweet. I couldn't fit Stafford, who has an awesome schedule. So this is, I said, some late round quarterbacks and their schedules as I see them. Love gets Bucks, which is awesome. Carolina, Carolina is a bad team, but it's not a great matchup for quarterbacks because they're just bad. Minnesota is a decent matchup. They can be beat by wideouts, but their defense is legit and they're running a unique scheme. Purdy, awesome schedule. Arizona, Baltimore. The X means it's a bad matchup because Baltimore's defense is a tough matchup. But we all know the 49ers and elite offenses can get there on tough matchups. So Purdy schedule, pretty elite. And I would expect Baltimore to be high scoring. Like I don't expect them to be shut out. Sam Howell has a pretty bad schedule. Rams, I think that's a fine game. Jets, I don't like that one at all. And 49ers, we're going to expect passing volume because they're so good, but they are the number 1 team against the pass in the last 4 weeks. They're very legit. Bryce Young gets Atlanta. I don't think that's good. Green Bay's okay. And Jacksonville's okay. But Bryce Young sucks. Stroud gets Tennessee, Cleveland, Tennessee. And Kyler gets 49ers. Bad matchup, but historically, 49ers against rushing quarterbacks have struggled. Chicago is actually a pretty legit D, and then Philly is pretty nutted. These were only the late round quarterbacks I pulled here, not the mid round. Stafford, I think I would put in the late round group 2. He gets Commanders, awesome, but also could be a Kyron game. He gets the Giants week 17 and the Saints, which is just a really bad defense at the moment. Moving over to running back. I drafted a lot of Zach Charbonnet this year, one of my highest drafted running backs. And as a guy who didn't do much, I think Zach Charbonnet was either a below average or average advance rate guy. There's not much pulling him up, right? It's not like Steelers correlation is going to pull him up. What Seahawk is going to pull him up? Him just not being a total 0 and not being expensive will probably keep him average advance rate. And I don't know how, I think the Seahawks have a great schedule for the passing game. And week 17, I think they have a good schedule for the passing or run. Let's look up Charbonnet's advance rate right now. Charbonnet, courtesy of our friend Patrick over at bbmdb.com. Link is in my Discord under Best Ball Resources. Is only a 13% advance rate player. The advance rate's not your ownership, obviously. You got to multiply the advance rate by the amount of teams left in the contest. There's roughly 113,000 teams, 112,000 teams. Kyron Williams is the guy I'm most excited about. His schedule is effing awesome. Commanders, great. Saints, good. Giants, awesome. And he's about 3% owned. Kyren, the lesson there for a lot of people is, and I had this lesson with players too, a lot of people would take him in 20-round formats, but not 18-round formats. So that's why he's so low owned. Jaylen Warren, you feel decent about. He can get a spike. Jeff Wilson Jr., not great. But hey, crazier things have happened. Kendre Miller, not great there. And they signed James Robinson, so that's got to be a bad sign for Kendre Miller. I mean, James Robinson. DeAndre Swift, he's been disappointing as of late, but he gets the Cardinals week 17 and just flat out could be the guy you need. I'll also say, what if Rashad Penny revenge game against the Seahawks Monday Night Football? Chuba Hubbard, feel like if you don't have Kyren, you don't have Jerome Ford and crew, Chuba is like the third best running back you could have there. It's the starting running back for the Panthers. They're going to run a lot. They got a schedule they can run on. So Chuba feels good. I like the Pollard. I really like the Cowboys schedule for the run game as well. Just think there could be dump offs, touchdown regression, saving it all for the playoffs. David Montgomery, solid pick. James Cook is really turning it on with Joe Brady. He gets a lot more work. Tank Bigsby is like a pure zero. Ty Chandler, gotta hope. Mostert, I barely drafted Mostert until late. And even me, he's like kind of chalky just because of how good Mostert was. ETN and CMC are also super chalky, but they're studs, so we like them. ETN in particular gets the Panthers week 17. Ken Walker, you can't just choose one guy on a team usually. At least I don't. Same with Gainwell here. We got some Saquon. We got some Ford. Tajay Spears. I like the Spears bit and Ford bit quite a bit. Brian Robinson and Gibson. I'm pretty equal there. Josh Jacobs. I'm actually surprised I'm not seeing Zamir White here because I drafted a lot of Zamir White, maybe more so on 20 formats. Josh Jacobs probably not playing. Dobbins out for the season. I don't know what's up with Ramondre. Is he going to miss the rest of the season? Is he going to miss just one more game? I don't know. Algier, Dillon, Damian Harris, Jamal Williams, Gibbs, and White. You feel good about those two. Derrick Henry. I guess I only got one Rashad Penny team through, and I drafted a lot of Rashad Penny. So rough. Breece Hall. Can't believe I only have two Breece Hall teams. I drafted quite a bit of him, maybe more so on PPR. Got one Kamara team, one James Conner team, one Gus Bus team. Only one Achane team advanced. I drafted 9% Achane, so that's a bummer. And one Aaron Jones, one Chase Brown, one Zamir White. So not as much of these guys who I thought I drafted a lot of. I did lose quite a bit of teams at like the 12th hour, so that's how it goes. How many legit live teams versus dead teams do you have? I think all my teams are alive, but I think me and almost every team out there has got some zeros on it. There are some teams which are fully loaded, but they also probably have some chalky pieces on it. There are not a ton of teams. Like there are a lot of teams I have where it's like everyone's playing, but it's like a core four of wide receivers or whatever. I don't have a lot of the chalky dudes. So my portfolio is uniquely set up to win, I think. I don't have a lot of Keenan Allen. I don't have a lot of Tyreek Hill. I don't have as much CMC. I don't have as much Mostert. So we got some lower end pieces. Wideout. Gabe Davis kicks it off. New England's awful against outside wide receivers. Gabe Davis, great best ball piece. Christian Watson, really hope he can come back at least next week. Christian Kirk, that was a rough zero for my BBM teams at least. Deebo Samuel, looking awesome there. Nico Collins, hoping to play this week, he says. Nico Collins would be my pick as like a true clear leader along with Kyren Williams based on their schedules. He gets the Titans twice. They're awful against outside wide receivers. Even I have 23% Tyreek Hill. Surprising. I only got like 6% of him or something. Amon-Ra, pretty chalky for me, especially in high stakes. DPJ. Deontay Hardy saved the Bills' season. He did that. So we'll see if he gets some run. Probably not. Jordan Addison, AJ Brown, 20% plus. Jonathan Mingo, just betting on a rookie. He is bad, but he's got 19 targets over the past 2 weeks. OBJ, I think, is a solid bet for like the guy who spikes in week 15 and advances a bunch of team and becomes chalk. Ayuk gets the nut matchup against the Commanders week 17. Slayton is alive. Bateman is alive. Hollywood Brown is alive. CeeDee Lamb, chalk, but good chalk. Rashid Shaheed, officially limited Wednesday, so maybe he comes back. Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is, I said this on last night's show and tweeted this. He was the wide receiver 5 in half-point PPR this year for total points. And he was an 11% advance rate player. That just shows you how strong Tyreek Hill and CMC is. And any first-round pick that is not Tyreek or CMC can be a very low-owned playoff hammer for Week 17. Mike Williams out for the season, RIP. Get healthy, big fella. Jameson Williams, he could get to catch a dart. JSN, they got a decent schedule. Michael Thomas, apparently he should play again in 2023, so we got that. Curtis Samuel, Stephon Diggs. I drafted a lot of Diggs, so it was hard to advance him. He had a quiet last month of the season. DK Metcalf, I love his playoff schedule. Tyler Lockett, Rashee Rice, and Khalil Shakir. Only got 2 teams of them, and Jaden Reed. 2 Keenan teams. 1-2-2 team. 1 Justin Ross, who's back practicing. Just some bad players down here. Tight end, drafted 50% Kincaid, and we got 50% Kincaid through. Hawkinson, Schultz, Laporta, Taysom, George Kittle, Higbee, Everett. Andrews out for the season. Greg Dulcich. An hour ago, Greg Dulcich back from IR. That's kind of big news. Got some Logan Thomas. He wasn't drafted a lot. Some Kyle Pitts, some Conklin. I am excited for Kincaid. He's not chalk. I think he's got a decent schedule. Just needs to catch a touchdown. All right, let's jump into the teams. By the way, it is criminal that the NFL, I know they're doing this alphabetically, but the NFL should be the first tab here, Underdog. So I guess we'll just jump in. We'll start with the high-stakes teams. Let's take a look at the Bulldog 2. These were $500 drafts. I did 4 of these and advanced 2. Good chalk versus bad chalk, to me, just is do I like their schedule? Do I think they're going to score a lot of points versus not? I think Mostert's bad chalk. I think CeeDee Lamb is good chalk. I think Tyreek Hill is not great chalk. So it's just my vibe based on what the schedule is. So, we got our friend Pat Corain in here. Sorry, Pat. This one's going to me. So drafted 4 teams here. Got 50% through. Pretty solid advance rate. Both these teams are hyper-fragile teams. Goff and Howell. Daniel Jones is out. Ramondre Etienne, Dameon Pierce, Rachaad White. Mixed bag here. Ramondre's obviously not playing. AJ Brown and Amon-Ra let you advance a lot. I think A-Chain is good chalk. Especially with Tyreek banged up, especially with the Jets game being weather-related, and with Miami having to play Jets, Dallas, Baltimore. To me, those are games where A-Chan's going to get more work. Gabe Davis, and then I stacked the whole, the Giants offense, Hyatt, Hodgins, Slayton with Daniel Jones. Did not work. Michael Wilson, Deontay Hardy. So, yeah, wide receiver, pretty grim here for having so many. Kyle Pitts, Kincaid, Laporta. That's solid. It's an okay team. These are smaller pods, gentler advance rates, so it's easier. This team, too, hyper-fragile. Stafford and Young, the only quarterbacks left. Lost Rodgers to start the year. Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall, Rachaad White. Solid group of 4 there. Obviously, no Josh Jacobs, probably. But Breece Hall's got a strong matchup and is going to get another 9 targets in the weather. Diggs, Godwin, Zay Flowers, OBJ, Rashee Rice, John Mingo, Michael Wilson, Puka Nakua. One of my few Puka Nakua teams on Underdog at all, / just any team. Corey Davis out for the year. So, yeah, I mean, nailed the wide receivers, honestly, for going hyper fragile. Like, Diggs is our anchor. Godwin's not great, but Flowers, OBJ solid now. Rice solid now. Michael Wilson, I think, is going to play this week. Nakua is a smash. Rice is a smash. Mingo gets targets. And Hawkinson and Kincaid, solid there. The big dog, I think I did 7 of these, got 1 through. Trevor, Geno, Howell. Fun trio of quarterbacks. Dalvin Cook, I did not draft him a lot. Jamal Williams, I didn't draft him a lot either. Gainwell, Mostert, Chuba, Ty Chandler, Gus. So mixed bag here. Mostert, Gus. Amon-Ra, Ridley, Metcalf, Kirk, JSN, Dotson. Solid group. Kirk is out. Ingram and Kincaid, good enough. The Pitbull, I love the Pitbull. I thought it was a really good structure for people who wanted to shot take higher stakes. I didn't end up getting my 10 bullets in because it filled too quick. I think I got 7, so advanced 2 of them. This one is a Goff and Purdy team. Daniel Jones out. Josh Jacobs, Gibbs, Javonte, Rashad White, and Kyron Williams. Ooh, that is pretty nice. AJ Brown, Amon-Ra. I just have that pairing a lot. Gabe Davis, OBJ, Michael Gallup, MVS, Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell. So yeah, like these Daniel Jones stacks, man, brutal. Kittle and Musgrave is probably not playing this year. The other team is a Purdy, Stafford, Stroud team. Pretty nice. Pollard, Walker, Swift, Montgomery, Rashad Penny, Zach Charbonnet. Pretty nice. We got the Seahawks and Philly double stack there. Diggs, Debo, Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, Jacoby Myers, Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell. Man, team would be nice if Tank was still playing. Schultz and Everett. And then the Best Ball Mania teams. Yeah, Achan did not practice today. I don't know. People seem to clown on this Jesse Morse dude, so I don't really know what we can and can't trust from him. No comment. All right, let's take a look. So it's gonna be tough to advance these bad boys. I'm sure you might have some teams against me, maybe not. I think we'll just take a look at 10 or so of them. This is my Fields Lawrence team. It's got Brees, Charbonnet, Warren, Achan, Gainwell, Jeff Wilson, Kyron Williams. Any team with Kyron, I just love. Chase, Ridley. Chase said he's going to play Saturday, so we'll see. Ridley and Zay Jones both had like roughly 25 expected PPR points without Christian Kirk. We'll see how that goes going forward, but that's strong, real strong usage. Debo, JSN, Bateman, DJ Chark. Yeah, so like I would say I have a lot of teams like this where I thought I was drafting quality wideouts, Bateman and Chark, man. And, you know, I'm taking questionable running backs, so I took a lot of them. But actually what happened is quarterback room, fine. Running back room, awesome, right? It's got Achan, it's got Kyron. This is my lone Achan team. It's a good one. It's got Justin Fields, low owned. But I got a solid group of running backs. Brees, Charbonnet, Warren, Achan, Kyron, Gainwell, and Jeff Wilson, a little bit more darty. And then Chase, Ridley, Debo are like the 3 solid wideouts. JSN, your 4th best wideout, not great, but their schedule is awesome. Except Tennessee's a reverse slot funnel, so that one's a little weird for him. And then Bateman, you know, you would wish that would be OBJ. DJ Chark, technically alive. Kincaid and Conklin, Hayden Hurst suffered a brain injury, so I don't really know. Expensive tight ends are not bad chalk in general. It just depends on how I feel your matchup is. Yeah, the injuries are starting to pile up here. Let's take a look at some more teams here. So Josh Allen, Jordan Love team. So it's got Saquon, good. Cook, good. Warren, good. Mostert, good. Chuba, good. Ty Chandler, serviceable. What's our Saquon advance rate? Saquon advanced on 16% of teams. Somehow he was like almost an average advance rate guy. I think it's just like, I think all you had to do to be average advance rate at that part in the draft is outscore a couple guys. So he outscored Garrett Wilson, probably outscored Devontae Adams. Diggs, Christian Watson. Man, I need Christian Watson back. Not this week, next week. Because you want him back next week so that he has a week to like settle in so that by week 17 he's full go, right? Devontae Adams, yeah, negative advance rate, 15%. Diggs, Watson, Ayuk. Any team with Ayuk, I'm stoked for. I just love that matchup against the Commanders for him. Jerry Jeudy. I didn't draft any Jeudy when he was a third-round pick, but when he dropped to like the 8th round, I was like, fine. Hollywood Brown, Jaden Reed, Tutu Atwell. So honestly, like this is one of my stronger wide receiver cores, top to bottom, I would say, right? Like Reed, good. Marquise, good. Jeudy is like not awful, but like he's not good. Tutu, an okay dart. Diggs and Ayuk, solid. I don't think Diggs has had a bad month. He dropped a lot of balls last game. I think he's a solid play against Dallas, and the Bills are going to be going scorched earth. Although the Herbert injury, we'll see how that plays into it. Diggs should have had like 50 points against the Patriots too the last time they played. And New England is bad against outside wide receivers as long as there's not a blizzard there. Kincaid, Higbee, Greg Dulcich. Pretty much a solo tight end team most of the year. Like, yeah, Higbee plays. I don't know what's up with Tyler Higbee. He got hurt, and that Davis Allen guy played well. And Greg Dulcich just got activated off IR. So we got Love, Watson, and Ty Chandler for our Green Bay, Minnesota stack. And we just got Kincaid, Diggs, and Josh for our Bale stack, beating up on the Patriots. A 2-4-8-4 team. I drafted this team in San Diego when I was there for the $50,000 best ball championship with Yoda Cal. Dak and Purdy, both are good chalk, I think. But Dak's like ownership is a little egregious. Just the mid-round quarterback that smashed, plus the quarterback injuries helped him. Jacobs not playing. ETN has got Baltimore this week. Ken Walker, Miles Sanders is the backup. So, yeah, I mean, hyper-fragile running back team that's now not so great. CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Ayuk, Pittman, awesome. Treylon Burks ran 74% of the routes last week, so I would say he's officially back. It's going to take a long touchdown throw most likely for him, but with Levis, that can happen. Mims, a pure dart. Juju, I guess, gave you a week last week, and Mingo gets targets. So, yeah, I don't love all the wide receivers, but they're in there. Knox, Hunter Henry, Michael Mayer, Kate Otten. These are like, it was almost hard not to land on like Trey McBride when you do what I did. But, all these guys are playing and healthy and can fall in the end zone. So a 4 tight end team, going to be unique just because of that. This might have been my only Kenny Pickett team in Best Ball Mania 4. Hurts and Pickett, it was draft. And you can see I dated mine. So this is a May draft. And something I want you to focus on for yourself is there's going to be a lot of talk next year about, amongst sharp people at least, about drafting early versus middle versus just saving it all for the last couple of days when we have max info. And a lot of people are going to do that. But you and I should both focus on how do we feel about the quality of the teams in August and September versus May. And my guess and intuition is that some of the May teams we're not going to like. They're not going to have any Kyron on them. But there might be a couple where we're like, that unique combo of guys who got steamed up, pretty nice. And a lot of my May teams are going to be my teams with Nico Collins because I stopped drafting him, unfortunately, once he got to a 10th round. Hurts, Derrick Henry, I don't know what's up with Kenny Pickett. I don't care either for this team. Derrick Henry, Charbonnet, Gibson, Algier, Jalen Warren, Tank Bigsby, Josh Kelly. Yeah. So like the zero running back guys back then, not as great, but these guys were like pretty cheap. Paired with Tyreek, Kirk is hurt. Addison, Jefferson claims he's going to play. I don't know about that. Gabe Davis, Bateman, OBJ, Jaden Reed. Mixed bag here. Hawkinson and Everett. So yeah, not one of my favorite teams. It's got Hurts unstacked, which is fine. It's got some guys you could like that got steamed up over time, like Jaden Reed and Jalen Warren. So it's not my favorite looking team on paper. This was a streamed team I did. Who's your daddy? 420. I'm your daddy, brother. Joe Burrow and Dak. So it's a solo Dak team. Pollard, Henry. Harris is probably out for the year. Jeff Wilson, a pure dart. Spears and Ford. So it's a 4 running back team. Chase, Keenan already ruled out this week. And Herbert is not playing anymore. Lockett, Michael Thomas, apparently going to be back. Nico Collins may or may not play this week. Michael Gallup, Deontay Hardy, and Charlie Jones. So I ended this draft with 2 real darts here. And I mean, Charlie Jones stacked with Joe Burrow. He got hurt too. And then Darren Waller, who I think is going to play this week. If not this week, probably next week. And Dalton Schultz. So I don't know. This team doesn't look great, but it's got some uniqueness. Dak is only stacked with Pollard and Gallup, which has got to be a little unusual. Geno Love, Howell. This is a late August team. So Geno Love, Howell, a strong trio of late to mid-round guys. ETN, Swift, Brian Robinson, Kyron. Any team with Kyron, going to be one of my favorite teams. I got 9 of them. Yeah, that looks pretty nice here. If we get there to week 17, ETN gets the Panthers, Swift gets the Cardinals, and Kyron gets the Giants. So like that is a trio that can win $3 million to me, honestly. Like ETN versus the Panthers, yep. Swift versus the Cardinals, yep. Kyron versus the Giants, yep. Brian Robinson gets the 49ers week 17, not great. Sean Tucker, nope. AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, good. Christian Watson, with the strength of those two, can probably carry him not playing this week. Lockett and Judy, both are alive. Mingo gets targets. DPJ, no. And then Kyle Pitts, okay. Laporta, strong pick. Chalky and Higbee. So yeah, I like this team a lot. 3 quarterbacks who I think have like good schedules when you combine them. My guess is Geno plays. I don't know though. Love that trio of running backs if we can get to the end. And it's got enough wide receiver firepower plus running back firepower and tight end firepower that it can kind of like carry a disappointing week or two. Like this one could survive if Watson does not play this week. Yeah, so I really like that team if it can make it to week 17. This is a team drafted on April 30th. One of the few in the contest. There are not a lot of teams drafted on. You could draft on 429 and 430, maybe 428. This was one of my few Deshaun teams. It was a Deshaun Goff team, so solo Goff. ETN, Pierce, Warren, Chase Brown, and Jerome Ford. An okay group. Tyreek Monroe, you could not get that combo for long. Debo, Gabe Davis, Boyd, DPJ, Deontay Hardy. Even in April, I guess I was into Hardy. Kittle, Njoku, Laporta. Smash trio of tight ends. Solo quarterback. Okay group of running backs. I mean, yeah, and like late in August, you couldn't get Tyreek and Monroe. So if that's the duo you need, you can only do that early. This team was drafted on July 31st. Josh and Russ, my only Russ team. Pollard, Pierce, James Cook, Tajay Spears, Ty Chandler. I mean, okay group here. Pollard and Cook are strong. Spears is fine. Pierce and Ty are there. Tyreek, Watson, Gabe Davis, Sutton, Rice, Mims, DPJ, Justin Ross, who's back at practice, Jalen Hyatt. Yeah, hodgepodge group here. Hawkinson and Kincaid. Strong duo. I like that team. One of my last teams drafted. Usually with my last teams, I just full stack the Bills if I'm able to. Why not? And my first teams. Josh and Bryce Young. Brees, Swift, Mostert, Jamal, Algier, Chuba. Mixed group there. Diggs, Metcalf, Gabe Davis, Addison. So, yeah, these four are fine. And then Mingo, DPJ, Shaheed, and Hardy. That is a grim group of four. But if Shaheed is playing this week and Mingo gets better at football, DPJ and Hardy are pretty darty. And then Hawkinson and Kincaid again. A duo I have a lot. Late August team. Lamar and Stroud. That's a fun combo. Lamar not that high owned. Ken Walker, Charbonnet, Warren, Gainwell, Mostert, Zamir White. No Josh Jacobs. Chase, JSN, Addison, Dotson, Burks, Dell. Andrews, Kincaid, Hill. So I went 3 tight end with Andrews, which is nice because he's out for the year. Got Lamar unstacked. Stroud is unstacked as well. He was stacked with Tank. An okay group there. Goff, Howell, young team, late August. Oof. We're facing Peter's team. Let's take a look at Peter's team. Friend of the channel. Hurts, Tua, Baker. Boo. Taylor, Brian Robinson, Elijah Mitchell, Bigsby, Mostert. That is a rough group. This team is dead because it only has Mostert at running back. Maybe Brian Robinson's playing. I'm not really sure. Tyreek, Hopkins, Godwin, Evan, Elijah Moore, Flowers, strong group. Schultz, Taysom, McBride, Otten. Yeah, so he advanced because he's strong at quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, but it's just kind of hard to advance when you're just getting points from Mostert, who's going to be chalky too. The Heroes team, me, no offense, Peter. Goff, Howell, Young. Okay. Saquon, Gibbs, ETN, Montgomery. So we double stack Detroit. I like that. Saquon and ETN are also solid running backs. Kendre. Amon-Ra, Dotson, Michael Pittman, Jameson Williams, Hodgins, Slayton. God, why did I do that so much? Michael Wilson. Okay group here. Kincaid and Laporta. Yeah, I mean, for only going 2 tight ends, getting the rookie guys, high upside plays, feels nice. We got Goff stacked with Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, and Laporta. I did a couple teams like this, just full alpha line stacks. We got Howell stacked with Dotson. And Bryce is, thank the Lord, unstacked. Yeah, if Kendre was Chuba, would be the only thing better there, but we don't have any Panther. And Bryce is running, so we don't want him stacked really. So that's a nice looking team. This is a July team I streamed. A Josh Allen Stroud team. Fun combo. CMC, Saquon, ETN, Walker. Yep, that's strong. Gabe Davis. Traylon Burks is back playing. Michael Thomas will play this year, according to him. Sutton. OBJ. Is OBJ my wide receiver too? Is he my wide receiver 1 on this team? MVS is alive and running routes. Curtis Samuel, arguably the wide receiver 3 or something. Richie James is playing again. Darius Slayton runs routes. Kincaid, Schultz, Taysom. So awesome tight ends, awesome quarterbacks, awesome running backs. Wide receiver, get to week 17, fall in the end zone, guys. This is a late September, a 0 running back, unstacked quarterback team. Jordan Love, Stafford, Stroud. Charbonnet, and with the Stroud injuries to his players, like it could work. Charbonnet, Mostert, Jamal Williams, Jerick McKinnon, Kyron Williams, Josh Kelly, Sean Tucker, Tyreek Olave, Jerry Jeudy, Zay Flowers, Bateman, Andrews, and Hawkinson. So I game stacked week 17 here without the quarterbacks for the Miami-Baltimore game in Flowers, Bateman, Andrews, Tyreek, and Mostert, which like might work. It's just a thin team. Next team is an August 15th team. Hurts and Daniel Jones. So, I mean, this team actually, like, it has injuries, but I still think it could be good because it's got Hurts every week. That's fine. CMC, Cook, and Kyron. And I mean, P. Ryan technically too. But the CMC, Cook, Kyron trio is definitely strong enough if everyone's healthy. So even with the Dobbins injury and P. Ryan not being great, 3 running backs, as long as they are studly, like those 3, good. And it's kind of nice, the Cook with Hurts combo, because, yeah, Cook can catch touchdowns from Allen, but he's also leverage off of Allen. So when you have the other elite rushing quarterback, that's nice. Smith to stack with Hurts, Ayuk. I love his week 17 matchup. Bateman runs routes. Sutton, the wide receiver 1 there. Mingo, a lot of targets. Hyatt, could definitely have some weeks. DPJ, no. Slayton, whatever. Campbell, no. Like, yeah, I mean, these Daniel Jones stacks are killing these teams. Hawkinson and Higbee. This team is a May 18th team with Richardson and Goff. I did a lot of 2 QB with Richardson on Underdog and even on DK sometimes, because I thought he was a elite quarterback, and that was right, but he got hurt. Goff, Gibbs, Madison, Charbonnet, Dillon, Chuba. I barely drafted Madison. I thought he was egregiously priced when he got steamed, but in the 10th round, whatever. He was just like so bad last year. When players are actively bad last year, no. AJ Brown and Monra, Mike Evans. Don't have a lot of Mike. Nico, Josh Downs, Kurt Samuel, Slayton, and Hardy. So honestly, like a really strong group of 6 wide receivers with some good matchups here. Mark Andrews and Laporta. At least it has Laporta. So yeah, solo Goff team again. This team drafted on August 14th. Lamar and Bryce Young. Ramondre. I don't know when Ramondre is going to come back or not. James Cook, Brian Robinson, Jamal, Jalen Warren, Ty Chandler. Pretty weak at running back, but it's possible. Amon-Ra, Lamb, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers, OBJ, Mingo, Shaheed, Slayton. So a pretty strong wide receiver room. You got the consistency of Amon-Ra and Lamb. You got the spike week to Gabe. You got the Flowers or OBJ getting there. And then Mingo and Shaheed are like serviceable. And then Kittle and Everett. So I like this. This is like a smart combo here where I went Lamar, and I do remember drafting George Kittle on purpose because I went Lamar without Andrews, because a lot of Lamar is going to be with Andrews, and you can profit so many ways. Andrews can get hurt, or simply he just did not catch a touchdown week 17 and someone else does. So I went Lamar with 2 wide receivers, happened to be the 2 good ones in Flowers and OBJ, and I got the leverage off of Andrews and Kittle. So this is a really smartly constructed team that I think, it's got the Lamar stack you would want. It's got different elite tight end, super strong at wideout. It's thin at running back. It needs Cook. It needs Brian Robinson to come back and play, which I don't know. It needs like a week from Ty Chandler. It needs Ramondre back desperately. And so, yeah, if this team was feeling better at running back, it would be one of my favorites, but it's pretty thin. May 18th team here, a Herbert and Tua team. So solo Tua, who's got rough matchups. Pollard, Jacobs out this week. Montgomery, Kendre, Jeff Wilson. I mean, Jacobs not for sure ruled out, but I think he is. Gainwell. Tyreek, Ayuk, Deontay, OBJ, Nico, Hodgins, Braxton Berrios, Dalton Schultz, Everett. This is an okay team. This next one I named the first day back from Vegas. So it was one I returned from the World Series of Poker in Vegas. It's my first one on July 10th. Trevor and Richardson, CMC, Swift, Robinson, Damian Harris, Jeff Wilson, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, Kirk, James Williams, Gallup, Rice, Samuel, Shakir. Honestly, a pretty good wide receiver room. Kirk's out, but other than that, hit some late round guys that are serviceable to good. And the Ridley and Metcalf, pretty low owned. Hawkinson, Knox, Jelani Woods, who I doubt comes back. So yeah, solo Trevor team, but it's got some good pieces. This is an 8-20 team. Good luck me. No offense. Just kidding. Hurts and Love, perfectly good there. Montgomery, Swift, AJ Dillon, Gainwell, Kyron. So this is some heat right now. We got quarterback. We got good running backs. Rico, fine dart. AJ Brown, Watson, we need back. Mike Williams is out. Gabe Davis, Myers, Mingo, Shaheed. Not the best. Kittle, Kincaid, Musgrave. Yeah, you wish you wouldn't tack on Musgrave with Jordan Love, but it's because he got hurt. And you would wish he had another wide receiver dart. 9-4. This was actually my last team I drafted until one got canceled and refunded. So I ended up drafting the second one that did not advance. Josh Allen and Purdy. Cook, Swift, Mostert, Algier, Roshan, Chuba Hubbard. So everything's great right now. And I remember drafting this team. This was my last one. And I drafted Kyron so many times that I was like, I'll do Chuba this time. And, Chuba, fine, but you wish it had Kyron. Diggs, Debo, Watson, Gabe Davis, Hollywood, Lazard, and Hardy are zero-ish. So a fine group of 5 wideouts needs Christian Watson back. Kincaid, Taysom, Mayer. Fine trio there. An August 15th team. Purdy and Stroud, the late round quarterbacks you wanted. Pollard, White, Kamara, Charbonnet. I don't have a lot of Kamara. Or White. So I like the way this team is looking. Amon-Ra, Christian Watson again. I drafted a lot of Watson and Mike Williams. Deebo Samuel, Jordan Addison, Gabe Davis, Myers, and Shaheed. Schultz, Greg Dulcich is back off IR, and Juwan. This is honestly a pretty good team. This team was drafted on April 30th. Hurts and Stroud, White, Charbonnet, Gibson, Warren. Yeah, rough group of running backs here. AJ Brown, Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Jameson Williams, and John Mechie de facto is in contention now because so many injuries have happened. Hawkinson and Kincaid. Again, I did that duo a lot. So yeah, pretty weak at running back, but White, Charbonnet, Gibson, Warren, fall in the end zone, could work. This team was drafted on August 19th in the airport. This is one of my favorite teams for sure, or one of my stronger teams, I think. Lamar, Goff, Purdy. So Lamar, I did view somewhat as a better and best ball quarterback, high ceiling, low floor. That's why I did trio. Pollard, Charbonnet, Dillon, Roshan, Kyron. Any team with Kyron, awesome. Amon-Ra, Debo, JSN, Ayuk, Cooks, Bateman, Hodgins. So a lot of good here. 5 good wide receivers. Or Cooks and JSN are not good, but whatever. Serviceable. 2, meh. Laporta, Conklin, Hurst. So punted tight end. We got the Goff to Laporta and Amon-Ra with a little Dallas bring back. We got the Purdy to Debo and Ayuk. And we got Lamar to Bateman, which you wish would be OBJ. This team was drafted on May 27th. Yeah, you just got to manually check other players. Josh and Hell, Pollard, Gibbs, Singletary, Gus. So 4 running backs, not ideal. Tyreek, Hollywood, Jordan Addison, Jameson Williams, Nico, Hawkinson, and Kincaid. This is a fine team. We got about 6 more here. This was a May 13th team. Stafford and Howell. Connor, Montgomery, Charbonnet, Gibson. Chase, Smith, Keenan, Nico. So a lot of injuries to this team. Kincaid, Laporta, Logan Thomas. Smash trio of tight ends. This team's whatever. A May 14th team. Josh and Stroud, pretty nutted. CMC, Ramondre, Madison, and Chuba. So strong enough at running back. Need Watson back. Kirk is hurt. Mike Evans, Hollywood, Nico, need him back. DPJ, MVS, and Hardy. You got to pray real hard for that. Kincaid and Schultz to stack with the quarterback. So an okay team. An August 28th team. A Dak, Love, Purdy trio. Pretty nice. Charbonnet, Spears, Chuba, Kyron. It's got Kyron. You know, it's like Kyron RB1. And then just like, you know, you just hope one of Charbonnet, Spears, Chuba, or Ty can hit the lineup. 5 wide receivers only. A.J. Brown, Lamb, Debo, Watson, Gabe Davis. Perfectly fine group of 5 for only going 5. Kittle and Pitts, so went double elite tight end, 2. In Pitts' case. I was killing it in San Diego. Drafted on August 19th. Dak, Geno, Purdy. Smash trio of quarterbacks. Montgomery, White, Spears, Ford, Kyron. So love this group of quarterbacks and running backs right now. Hit double league winner in Ford and Kyron. It's got, you know, the Rico Montgomery stack. CD, Garrett, Debo, JSN, Lockett. So if Geno is back and these guys can get there, this is a pretty nice team. No Mike Williams, but Lamb, Wilson is going to get a lot of targets. Debo, JSN, Lockett. That can work. Especially with how strong it is at running back. And then Schultz and Higbee, not the best. Guys, have patience on being paid out. Like seriously. Wait tomorrow or something. I have no idea. I do not work for Underdog. I promise you waited months. They want to pay that out ASAP. Companies do not want to hold your funds. This was my 100th team streamed on August 8th. Josh and Trevor. Aaron Jones, going to be low owned. Swift, Charbonnet, Ford, and Kyron. So awesome group of running backs. Tyreek, Ridley, Zay Jones. So I alpha stack Jacksonville. Chark, DPJ, Claypool, Shakir, Ingram, and Kincaid. Decent team. And my last team drafted on May 25th. Trevor, Stroud, Howell. Solid. Barkley, Ramondre, we don't know. Ken Walker, Jalen Warren. So kind of weak at running back. Cup, real low on Cup. Cup only advanced on 7%, but I didn't get to draft any Cup when he was like a 2nd round pick on Underdog. I did on DraftKings. So very few were able to advance 1st round Cup. Kirk out. Addison, Flowers, OBJ, Zay Jones to help for the Kirk injury. Nico. So smash group of wide receivers, honestly. Cup, Addison, Flowers, OBJ, Zay, Nico. Yeah, you can work with that. Stacked with Lawrence, stacked with Stroud. And then Kincaid, Taysom, Logan Thomas. This is one of my favorite teams, I think. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers who are solid. Yeah, we don't know if Nico's playing, but even without, could be fine. 3 smash tight ends. I mean, I wouldn't call Logan a smash, but he's correlated. And then running back's the bigger question. Barkley, Ken Walker, Jalen Warren. At least Walker's playing. And Ramondre, maybe he comes back next week, I like that one. All right, guys, I am hungry, so I'm going to go get dinner with my girlfriend. Yeah, I don't think Logan Thomas was drafted a lot at all because, I would have drafted a lot of Logan Thomas because I just do that every year. But even I got scared off by the Cole Turner hype. Logan was only drafted on 4,600 teams. There's only 900 teams left with him in the contest. Kyron Williams was only drafted on 11,000 teams. So, JJ, you just looked through all my teams, so I recommend you just rewind the stream if you've not watched. I showed you a couple mega stacked teams. I showed you some Jacksonville mega stacked. I showed you some Buffalo mega stacked. And some other teams that were averagely stacked. So I also have some pre-draft best ball teams in the big board. Ian Harditz and I could win the big board. That'd be fun. And I got a big board super flex, but tomorrow probably jump in and look at the DraftKings teams. I got more DraftKings teams, so we're not going to look at all of them, I don't think, at least the high stakes ones. And definitely next week, I will dive into whatever teams are remaining for me, hopefully a lot, in the semifinals. So hope you enjoyed this dive into my teams. I'll definitely be documenting how it goes for me after the semifinals. Hopefully we have some final sweats. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Enjoy your night and good luck, everyone. I'll be back on Friday at the latest and probably tomorrow too. Peace.